Hi and welcome to a rather wet gaming video. Now, in previous videos I have spoken about whether it's safe to use your games console in a heat wave, and I also looked at which DS models you could play if you're in direct sunlight. But I live in England and the weather is terrible today, so a quick question, because it is pouring it down: is it safe to use your games consoles in the rain? Now, I'm not talking about hoiking your Xbox One out with some extension leads in a massive downpour. This is a portable channel after all. But is it safe to use your handheld consoles when it's raining? And it might seem like a bit of an obvious question, and the answer should be no. But it's a portable console. Maybe you're taking it out with you for a walk. Maybe you're sitting at the park like I am. Or maybe you're at a bus stop and you're playing your favourite DS and it starts to rain. Is it safe to? Well, they should be fairly watertight. I'm not going to recommend it. I will go there. Playing your games consoles when it is chucking it down with rain is not sensible. But technically they should be fairly watertight. Unless you throw it in a puddle, it's going to be okay in the rain. It's the same with your mobile phone. Most people will put their phones in their pockets when it's raining. A few years ago we had a huge downpour in our garden and I wanted to record it, so I went outside with my phone and I got the video that I was looking for, but it did mess my phone up. For about an hour or so afterwards it would be completely unresponsive, and a lot of that is down to the touchscreen, and a lot of the games consoles that I use, so my Vita or my DSi, are touchscreen based. So is it safe to whip out my beloved DSi with its touchscreen and play it in the pouring rain? Now, just as I've sort of started this video, the rain has stopped, which is quite nice. There's a little bit of sun coming up there, but you probably saw at the start of this video it was pouring it down. So touchscreens don't do very well when they're wet. If you've ever had wet fingers or slightly damp fingers, you might find that your phone doesn't work properly, or using your DS or your Vita with a slightly damp finger doesn't work either. There are lots of things to think about when using one of these or something similar in the rain. Yes, they may be fairly watertight, but there's always bits and places that water can get in. You've got speaker grills here, your cartridge slot there, even down the side of the buttons possibly. It's not advisable to use your games console in absolutely pouring down weather, but right now, like I said at the start of this video, it was pouring it down, but now it's pretty much stopped. You can see a little bit of, you might be able to anyway, a little bit of raindrops on there. And let's have just a quick look and see whether this thing will work when it's been raining. The sun is now about to come out. That doesn't really mean anything. In the next few minutes we could have another downpour, and see if the console is still responsive. It's really isn't advisable. My phone is sitting there on some little tripod. It's got very wet. Luckily it's got a case on it, but it could mess all sorts up. So do you know what? I'm going to play a bit of Game Boy Tetris, which you'll have seen in one of my previous videos that I use this console for. And the screen is still nice and responsive as to what it's supposed to be doing. I think it's probably because it's just about finished raining here, but if it's pouring down with rain, your screen is going to stop working. It'll still work, you just won't be able to touch it and do what you need to do on something like this. Maybe a PSP or an original Game Boy would be slightly different, but you still have that water getting in where it shouldn't do. So as bizarre as this video sounds, yes, it should be fairly safe if you're in a mild bit of rain to play your console outside, but it isn't advisable, and if it does happen, I hold no responsibility for completely messing up your console If water gets in where it really shouldn't do, you could have some serious water damage. But this is a slightly tongue-in-cheek video, but I've quite often sat outside or sat at a bus stop with my phone out or with my DS out, and it started to rain, and do I or don't I put it away? So let me know what you think. Do you think this is a daft video, or is it something that needs to be at least asked and then definitively answered? Have you played your console, or do you sit in the rain and play with your phone? Let me know. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.